We are racing towards the end of Infinity Wars with Infinity Wars number 6. Let's go. Hit the music. Now, one thing that got my attention, other than the Stan Lee tribute on this, is that this is a $5.99 book, which, I mean, it's a thick book, but it is, I mean, $6 for a comic book. You expect a lot out of it. So take that into consideration while I do this review. But before we do that, just like the comic does, let's take a minute to think about Stan Lee and the legacy he leaves behind. And Marvel did a good job in remembering him and doing the tribute to him in these issues. So I did another video about that. I'll link it in the description below so you can go check that out if you're interested. So Infinity War 5, we left Loki. He had collected the Infinity Stones and he had basically fallen backwards through the bottom of the Quarry of Creation, and he entered the Prime universe where he stood before dozens of Celestials. Well, Loki, in typical Loki form, is just giving these Celestials a tongue lashing, and basically says, "Are you the gods that just hover above us all, and you plot and scheme, and what are you doing?" And the Celestial just points, and Loki, on his way over to see what he's pointing at, says, "If it is you who have been writing my destiny, then you can show me." And he looks through this glass or into space or something, and he just says, "My future?" And with that, he just begins laughing. He laughs to himself, and he looks down and says, "So, that's the way it goes, huh?" And he looks down, he realizes that the stones are powerless here, and looks up at the Celestials and states that, "Someday, when you enormous clods grow up, I hope you stop casting rocks at our universe. Are you doing it for us, or are you doing it for you?" And then he steps away. He says, "I know when I'm beat." And Loki steps back through to his universe, carrying all the Infinity Stones. But before he does, all the other ones that they created with the fold over the universe, he makes them all inert. He gets rid of those, basically saying that he felt like they had too many cannons loose on the deck of the ship. Then Loki does something both very Loki-ish and very un-Loki. He, having the power right there to control the universe, hands it back over to the heroes, to the individuals he had brought to assist him, and tells them they don't have a lot of time to keep the universe collapsing. Go forth and do it. He just walks away, goes and gets in the ship with Floa, says he's been thinking about the events and everything that's happened, and he has lost his appetite for the apocalypse, and he leaves. Back inside the Soul World, things aren't going so well for Gamora. She is in a fist fight with Sorcerer Supreme when suddenly, right as she says she's about to erase him, her stones go inert, and Sorcerer Supreme just smiles and just knocks her out. Straight knocks her out. And he knocks her towards Devondra, where she'll be consumed. But at the last second, Groot, Star-Lord, comes swooping in and saves her. Now, as this is happening, Adam Warlock is having a complete fit because the stones have changed. They went inert, and he doesn't understand that we're in the universe, therefore the stones must exist. And right as he's doing that, the other heroes walk in, carrying the stones. Now, hold on from here, because we got to fit a whole lot of storyline wrapping up into a short period of time. And apparently, Jason Dugan realized that as well, because he pulls some. I said Jason Dugan. I meant Jerry Dugan. He pulls some stuff out of his ear here. So all the heroes hand off the stones to Adam Warlock. Now, the one thing that's happening is Sorcerer Supreme is basically saying, "Look, I don't want my universe collapsed. I am me." And so Adam Warlock thinks about it and let me pull this text up real quick because it's kind of almost humorous. Perhaps I could copy all the souls from Warp World back into ours, but Devondra could remain a constant threat in here. And what is he talking about? Because he's like control copy souls into this world. I mean, is that how this works? Well, the Hulk makes it real clear that he ain't getting eaten by a Devondra, and he's got the Space Stone. So let's see what the strongest can do with the Space Stone. What he does is he goes, punches Devondra, and creates a black hole, basically in the middle of her. And so at that point, Devondra is being sucked into the black hole. So solve that problem. So after Devondra is defeated, they split everyone that basically wants to be split. Everybody that was from the original world that had gotten combined, they split them up. So you get Rocket, Groot, Drax was split. You get all those guys split up. Now from here, with all the mightiest heroes holding their stones, Adam Warlock sounds like a high school computer science teacher. He states, "We're going to drag all the souls from our world out of the gym and back into our universe. But we're going to copy them, leaving the warps intact. Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand? Okay, well, go ahead and click. I want you to highlight the souls in this world and then Control C. Okay, now I want you to go in to the warp world and paste it there. Do you see them? Okay, good job, class. Hey, we've got 5 more minutes in class. Keep practicing that, and go ahead and delete all those. Do it one more time, and then and that'll be it for today." And then everybody starts popping back into the soul world, and everybody's excited about it, and it works. So that's fixed, I guess. Well, while they're doing this, Adam Warlock realizes the one portal's not going to be enough. They need 2 portals in order to restore both worlds. And Drax and Arthur, which is Drax before he became Drax kind of thing, they take the portal, they basically loop it in half, make it into an infinity sign, and that allows them to save both universes at once. The catch is that if they let go of their grip, the portals close. And both of them look at Adam Warlock and say that they're okay with it. They're good, that they're going home. And Adam Warlock just closes his eyes and says, thank you both. And everybody hops in the, I guess it's the Soul Stone bubble, and then they go flying through space. Of course, they go through the portal, and Drax looks over at his other self, his other soul, and says, "I'll see you in the next life." And they release the portal, closing it, and being trapped in the soul world with Devondra for forever. So Drax is the fallen guardian. The rest of the crew flies through space. They hit the ground there, crash. Of course, they crash near a monument, because that's just the way everything works. And when they do crash, everybody's knocked out. The stones are laying about, and people slowly start coming to. And, of course, Gamora is one of the first ones up. And she's eyeballing the stones. She's starting to reach out for him, but she's stopped. Phyla-Vell and Moondragon go after her. Star-Lord ends up playing the intermediary. He stands in their way. He basically tells them, look, this is it. We're done. We prevented this from being worse than it could have been. And at that point, everyone starts reaching for stones. Hulk slaps away Kang's hand, and Adam Warlock quickly realizes this is about to degenerate into something worse than it was before, possibly. And he picks up the Time Stone, and when he does, he freezes everything and tries to figure out an answer for how he can end this conflict. What Adam Warlock decides to do here is absolutely insane. He states that everyone has ever been in possession to wield infinite power has been undone by their choices. Perhaps I should not decide the outcome. Maybe they should. And what he does is he first sends Gamora away to save her. And then he said he sent her away right before he relinquished infinite power. And what he did is understanding that humanity will fight and die to control the Infinity Stones. That humanity will never be free of the burden. So what he did is he gave each stone a soul of its own. And they can lead their own individual lives and write their own destinies. So, I mean, that's nuts, right? Now the best part of this is he's sitting there talking about how the souls that they have, they will protect themselves or die trying because of them. And Star-Lord looks over at him while they're having this talk and says, "I suppose you'll keep the Soul Gem then." And Adam Warlock starts to speak. Says, "Yes, we have a special relationship." And then as soon as he says that, the Soul Stone just leaves. She's like, "I'm out of here. I've had enough of this dude. You're bad mascara," and it's gone. And Star-Lord just looks over at him, is like, "Looks like the dumb rock has other plans. Sorry you got dumped. I'm sure there's another rock out there for you." Adam Warlock's just like, "Shut up, I need to be alone. Leave me alone. I'm going to my room to sulk." From there we go inside the warp world where Arthur Douglas, his untimely death, the guy that merged with Drax, his death is undone. And you have the World Defenders now. The Infinity Warps that are there to defend the world and the country. And then it gets a lot more interesting because you find out where Adam Warlock sent Gamora, because he sent her somewhere where she would do the most good according to the Infinity Stones. And what she does is she finds Magus, who was killed by Ultron at the beginning of Infinity Countdown. You can go check that out on one of my earlier videos. And the last thing she says is, "I was sent here by a friend." And I'm assuming it's the Soul Stone, but we don't know. And then we find out Loki, he's chilling in the library with what's her name, saying he's going to miss her, and I'm not. And then from there we get this last shot of Adam Warlock, who looks up and says, "I feel like a piece of me is missing." And that is exactly what Gamora said before she went nuts. So what are we looking at here going forward? We come out with the next one's Infinity Coda, I believe. And then we have Infinity. We have another one that I'm going to try to knock out here shortly. But guys, that's it. Wrapping up Infinity Countdown. What do you guys think? I'll tell you, I thought Gamora was kind of a chump with the stones. I expected more. It didn't hold a torch anywhere close to Infinity Gauntlet, where Thanos' arrogance is what cost him. It just wasn't that good of a story. It's like, hey, she made a dumb move in folding the universes over, because in doing so she created Infinity Stones inside of one of the stones. I just really wasn't that impressed by it. But let me hear what you guys think down in the comments. And I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Make sure, if you haven't yet, make sure you're subscribed, guys. I've got my new goal for January, and that's to double my subscribers again. I hit 125 in December with my goal of 60, and I went all the way to 125. So once again, I'm going to attempt to double it. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I really appreciate it. And that's all I got. Leave a like. It helps me out in the analytics for getting this video seen by other people. And I appreciate your time, guys. Leave a comment. Let me hear what you think. Real Comic Stacks out.